Good morning. So I'm cold this morning. I got my furry blanket and I got my winter gown on and I have my thigh-high leg warmers on and I have me a cup of warm tea in my favorite Walking Dead cup. Oh yes, this tea I want to tell you about. It's called Tension Tamer and I've been drinking it for a long time. My mom introduced me to it back in the 90s and when I went to pick up the box I really freaked out because if you know anything about the Bible, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? But I want to read you the ingredients. I have to get my looking glass out. It says peppermint, cinnamon, ginger, chamomile, lemongrass, licorice, catnip, tilla flowers, lemon something with other natural flavors including hops and the name for vitamin B6 and 12, and it has 25% vitamin B6 and 50% of B12. No fat, no sodium, no carb, no protein, and caffeine free. And it is stamped with, what the hell is that? I don't know. But anyhow, these days I've had to go all the way to Walgreens, or not, is it Walgreens? No, not Walgreens. It's one of the it's like a pharmacy slash health food store. It's a really big store. I can't even remember the name of it right now. But it's also where I pick up my, excuse me, my hair is crazy this morning. It's all fly away because of my blanket. It's staticky. So, it's where I pick up my neuropathy medicine, which I used to, this healed my carpal tunnel. I no longer suffer with pain in my hands like I used to. All this is frankincense and myrrh. Okay? It's about 20 bucks. And another thing I want to share with you is this. Okay? Now, some of y'all may not need that because you figured out how to use your own enzymes, but for me it helps with this. And I just recently got this again, and I remembered that I forgot to reorder it because I was taking it for about a year, and it doesn't just help with this. What it is it is a enzyme from the silkworm, and it gets rid of unwanted proteins in your body, and so it helps with many different things including inflammation. But people usually take it for having too much mucus, which I have so much mucus in my face, and I haven't quite understood what's going on in order to fix it without using some help. But it is natural, and it's a little bit expensive because I buy the stuff that is free of all the crap. And so also I pulled a card this morning, and I haven't looked at it yet, but I haven't pulled an animal spirit card for y'all in a long time. What? I don't think I can hold my composure. I should have looked at it first. I think I'm gonna cry. Wow. I'm literally shaking. The white stag. Protector, you are an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Your intuition. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings with your magic. Wow. Wow. Do you want to see what the base card is? I'm curious. Get out of here. Get the crap out of here. You're kidding me. Grizzly bear. I am indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. I will succeed. Well, I'm done for the day. Okay, so really, I was wanting to tell you guys about my relationship with my grandparents. So, when I was little girl, I was the firstborn of my parents. And hold up, I gotta light a cigarette. I gotta tell you this story. Handle it. It's all a program. Okay. My hair's getting caught in my button. In my buttons. So when I was little girl, I was the cat's meow of my grandmother. My mom's parents, who adopted her when she was 7 or 8 years old. Their last names was Ellis. And my grandmother was a fiery redhead. She was tall and real skinny. Sorry. And my grandpa was a carpenter by trade. He had his card, and he also worked the factories. And when they got my mother, they were in their 40s. And so by the time I came along, they were in their 60s. And I was closer to them than I was my dad's parents. This is going to be a really long video. And I don't know why, except that I was what brought my mother and my grandparents back together again, because my mother decided to run off with my daddy right after they graduated. And my mom was supposed to go to beauty school and become a hairdresser. And instead, she got pregnant. My grandparents, they were so angry. They wanted my mother to have a good life. They wanted her to be successful and to do something that she loved. And my mother's plans, unbeknownst to them, had changed. But when I came along, my grandma couldn't resist my red hair. She couldn't. And from that moment on, I became what everybody teased me about for years, the cat's meow. Although for many years, I felt like she was the only one who really did love me. She taught me magic and unconditional love. And I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. I went camping with them. They were in 3 camping clubs. The Wildcats, the Annie Oakleys, and the I can't remember the other one. And they were both, my grandpa was in the Oddfellows Lodge, and my grandmother was in the Rebeccas, the sorority. And I would get to go with them into their secret meeting places and sit amongst them while they had their meetings. And in their meetings, they talked about who they were going to help, the Rebeccas. They were a group of women who started out as I can't think of the name of the church now. It's not Lutheran. It's another Protestant church, and there's a history behind the Rebeccas, and they used to go in and take care of the elderly, help take care of the elderly when they were dying or sick, or they would help take care of people who became sick, because back in the days, people didn't go to the doctor like they do now. Doctors would visit the home, and then the women would take care of the sick. Actually, the women did a whole lot of things like that. They kind of ran the family, and the men just brought home the bacon and did the building of the homes and the farming. And so a lot of it was just that they were pooling in their money once a month to be able to help people or make donations to causes, like the ones that with the hats that ride around on the little bikes and the parades. They can't remember the name of them, but they paid for my ear surgery when I was little, and they also paid off my birth cost. I think my parents had like 6 more payments, and they got a letter in the mail saying that these fellas had paid the bill. So anyway, I spent a lot of time camping, and my Papaw, he taught me how to fish with a stick and a line. And my Papaw and I, we would go out on the lake all the time in the little paddle boats, you know. And because they never would let me do it by myself. And so I became very, very close to them, spending a lot of time with them. And When I was 7, we moved to Texas, and it broke my heart. I missed my grandmother so much. I did miss her so much. And there was something about her that I never knew, but I could feel it. And see, I didn't know until after she passed that she had tried to have a child, and she had made these clothes for it and all this stuff, and it was stillborn. And it was a boy. So they waited a while, and she didn't want to go through that again. But all these years she had grieved this secretly. And my mother knew about it, but I don't know how she knew about it. Oh, and there was also my great-grandmother who lived until I was pregnant with my son. Well, my grandmother's maiden name was Werland, and I'm not sure where they're from exactly before they hit America, but I know that my grandmother grew up in and was born on a little farm in Kansas City, Missouri. And they had moved to Ohio whenever she was about 16. And that's where she met my grandpa, who was born on a farm out in Ansonia, Ohio. And actually lived on that farm when I was a teenager with my mother. We lived there alone. Well, I went to the lodge with my papaw too, and it was this, they had bought or rented, the lodge did, this old 2-story brick home. It was an old home. It was so old that it had fireplaces on both floors, and there was about 4 of them, in the living room, and then there was another bedroom, and then there was 2 bedrooms upstairs that had them. And it still had I loved going and just exploring while they had their meetings. So I don't know, because I wasn't allowed in those meetings. But it was really weird because I was so curious. And upstairs, and I know they're not the only ones that met there. I think there was another group that met there too. But they was the Oddfellows. And the symbol of the lodge was 3 links. Like a chain, 3 links. And in one of the rooms, there was all these like dress-up robes and like fake, like plastic and cardboard swords and shields and stuff that would look like I don't know, like knights. They were like knights. But my grandpa was a good man. He, when he retired the second time, he would go around and patch people's roofs for nearly nothing, sometimes for free. And he would clean out their gutters and stuff like that. And that's actually where he died was, he didn't die on the roof, but he was up patching his own roof and had a heart attack, a massive heart attack and a stroke. And so later on, after I had moved to Texas, there were some really horrible things that were happening to me and my siblings, and I wanted to go home. My parents had split up, and we had a new mother, and I ended up getting a new sister, which I love very much. And I want to tell you something, I wouldn't trade any of it, because it has made me strong. Had I not went through the childhood that I did, there's no way I would have handled the last 15 years. Because the last 15 years have been really, really hard on me. Really hard on me. to the point of an attempted suicide in 2013. Well, my cigarette went out. Do you see this right here? I was born with it because I chose the path of pain. I don't know why. But for whatever reason, that's what I chose. Okay, so when I was 12, I started running away. By the time I was 13, they didn't want to hold me because they said they couldn't hold runaways. And I said, well, if you don't hold me, I'll go do something to make you hold me. Because if I have to commit a crime, say the word. So anyhow, to make a long story short, because this is going to be a crazy upload, I ended up with my grandparents when I was a teenager as well. Still hanging out with the old people. Going camping. And I remember one time when I went camping, when I met God in a cornfield. He didn't walk into the cornfield. He came out of me. I was 13 years old. In case you don't know, we are one with God, no matter what. And being with my grandparents, it taught me magic, unconditional love. Even as a little child, I was already bonding with nature. Do you know that if you lay upon the earth, you can feel her breathe? And if you want to talk to God, He's right here. She's right here. God is right here. Always. And if you want to see the truth, close your eyes. Combine this with this. You don't have to have a clean body. You don't have to be drug or alcohol free. I mean, it helps with the concentration and all that stuff. And yeah,